I need your help with understanding some things, because we're getting a lot of calls and emails, and there's a big pun documentary coming out, and it's stirring up a lot of controversy, and his wife is getting a lot of interviews because of it. They say that she's living in a shelter. Now, people, especially on Twitter and all that, they're asking us, how can this be happening? Why doesn't Fat Joe take care of her?
That's a great question. What happens is, after Pun passed, we put together an album. She told me that she was broke. Now, mind you, Big Pun made millions and millions of dollars while he was alive. He spent a lot of money, 10 Mercedes-Benzes, 10 motorcycles, whatever the case may be. I had no clue that he was broke. She steps to me and she says, Joe, I'm broke. We got no money. I said, well, listen, people not going to feel sorry for you because you're Big Pun's wife forever. I'm going to get you some money. Now, what do? So she tells me, I like to do hair. I said, well, why don't you go to school for doing hair, and maybe you can open up 2-3 beauty salons and continue to support your family, because no one's going to continue to pay your bills because you're Big Pun's wife.
Maybe for a while in the beginning, but not forever.
Exactly. The point is, if I died, I don't expect no one to give my wife $5. We do the album Endangered Species.
Right. Which was after
no one got paid on this album after Pun's death. No producer, no studio, no rapper, not me, no one. The full advance, which was hundreds of thousands of dollars, went to Liza, Rios, and the family. So after he passed, she had hundreds of thousands of dollars. I thought I did the right thing, Cypher.
Right.
Like, I thought I did the right thing. She spent the money unwisely, right? She comes back and says, Joe, I'm doing bad again. We give her a check out of our pockets. We say, yo, we got to take care, because at the end of the day, Pun's my brother. I take care of over 30 people for the last 15 years. Like, 30 friends that they got to pay their family bills, they got to pay their rents, they got to pay whatever. Why wouldn't I take care of Pun's wife and Pun's kids? You understand?
Of course.
So now she comes back for another check. I look out for her. I write her a check. Now the controversy happened to where, how could you expect to live off of Big Pun's name, being his wife, and you putting out DVDs of him pistol whipping you, and you calling him an animal, and you calling him a beast? This is the problem I have with Liza Rios, is that at the same time as saying, I'm Pun's wife, take care of me, I'm Pun's wife, she's just
ran his name
basically disrespecting his legacy.
Right.
Like, if you have problems at home, and which to everybody, I don't believe that no man should pick up their hands for no woman in the universe, and I've never seen him do that personally. So after this DVD, she knows why mine and her communication has stopped. Because I felt like that was disrespect to Pun, to his kids, whatever the case may be. At the end of the day, she is Pun's wife, so I never wanted to go back and forth with her and make it look ugly, because I wanted to respect Pun. But it's been 10 years later. Every time I drop an album, she comes out with a full press explosion at Fat Joe, you know. Fat Joe, he sucks. The truth is, I did the right thing.
Well, but Joe, here's the thing. This is the tough part. What do we do now? Because the story is that his kids, your man's kids, are in a shelter. A, do you know if that's true? And B, regardless of Liza's mistakes, what can we do?
Whenever I've tried, let me tell you something. Whenever I tried to reach out to the family and stuff like that, I would love to have his kids in my house. You understand what I'm saying? But they've been brainwashed to believe that Joe robbed them, that Joe ain't take care of them. I have royalty statements. I have never made $1 off of Big Pun since he passed away. She, honestly, and I don't want to start this because I know what it's going, she has to find a job somehow, some way. She has to find a job.
Yo, what up? It's Chris with The Ignorance is Free. And see, this is what I'm talking about, man. Like, people really need to stop throwing around that word family. Yo, we fam, dog. We fam. You my family. You my blood. You my heart. You my Stop throwing that shit around, all right? Because whenever it has to do with business, family goes right out the fucking door, all All right, so in case you didn't know, this happened about 2-3 days ago. Fat Joe finally settled out of court with Mrs. Rios, which is Big Pun's, the late and great Big Pun's wife. And before we get into the amount that he settled out of court for, let's add a little context to that interview. So that was Fat Joe on Hot 97 in August, back in 2009. Finally responding to Mrs. Rios, basically killing him in the media. Every single time Fat Joe would come out, she would come out and say something negative about him. So he finally responds. Now, she did an interview with Hip Hop DX magazine in 2009, and that's, again, what instigated the response that you just heard. Now, I'm not going to go over all the details of what was in the interview. I'm just going to give you a few points. However, if you want to read the interview in full, the link is in the description. So basically, what she was saying is for that album, Endangered Species, that Fat Joe put together specifically for her, she only got $246,000. Listen to me. Only 240. That's almost $250,000. So she blew that money, according to Fat Joe. She blew that money, and from there she approached Fat Joe again and said, "Hey, I'm broke. I'm fucked up. What do I do? Please help me." So according to Fat Joe, he wrote her another check. Now, in this article, rather in this interview that she did with Hip Hop DX, she said that check that he wrote was basically just what Pun was owed in publishing. So apparently Pun got fucked. So he signed a publishing deal where this individual named Jelly Bean was taking 50%. 50% of Big Pun's publishing, and Joe was taking 25%, and then Pun was getting the other 25%. So according to Mrs. Rios, every single time Pun made $1, before anything even got to him, it went through Jelly Bean's hands, and then went through Fat Joe's hands, and then went to Pun. Now, Pun, I mean, come on, he made millions of dollars, and he was on some rapper shit, like anyone would do from the fucking project. You make a lot of money, you want to stunt, you want to shine, you're gonna probably blow like your first million. Like let's just be real about it. So at the end of the day, even though she got another check from Fat Joe, which was in the amount of $116,000, she still felt that she was owed more. Now, I don't know if she blew through that $116,000 like she did the almost $250,000, but at the end of the day, she was still coming down on Fat Joe. She felt that they were owed more from, Pun went platinum. Capital Punishment went platinum. Yeah, Baby went gold. So yeah, Fat Joe helped her out with the Endangered Species, but what about the first two albums? Right? So basically that's kind of what this whole thing was about. That's why she kept on coming at him, beating him over the head over and over again. We need more, because apparently Pun got screwed. And according to her, in this interview that she did with Hip Hop DX, she would repeatedly tell Pun, they're fucking with you and you need to get your fucking affairs in order. So basically, that's kind of what she was going over, chasing down Fat Joe for. Now, when we fast forward to just a few days ago, like I said, he finally settled out of court. This happened on June 22nd, and Fat Joe paid fucking $2 million. That's a lot of fucking cake. $2 million. So, Mrs. Rios' lawyer, Rosario, said, well, we think it was fair and we're pleased. Obviously, Fat Joe's lawyers, Benjamin Stranzel and John Kane, they refused to comment after the hearing. So here's my thing. This is what happened, but here's my 2 cents. Now, if you knew or know of Big Pun, and you knew or what was going on with this whole back and forth between Fat Joe and Big Pun's wife, she did some fucked up things. You know what I mean? She put out a video with Big Pun, you heard Fat Joe just talking about it, with Big Pun pistol whipping her, basically destroying his legacy, right? And I mean, let's just be real. What other Latin rapper is out there that's kind of holding it down. So why, like, she fucked with that. That's all. That's like a stain on Big Pun's legacy. It's like kind of like the Drake thing, where like everybody thinks Drake is so great, he's so amazing, but Meek Mill kind of hit him with that. You know what I mean? The ghostwriting thing. So now, whenever you bring up Drake and you think of Drake as being one of the greatest, if that's what you think, I mean, always in the conversation, they're gonna bring up the not the ghostwriting, but the reference tracks, right? So the same thing with Pun. Like whenever you bring up Pun now, some people may bring up that, and nobody, I don't condone that. I don't condone putting your hands on a woman, but like that's a fucking stain on his legacy. So like to me, it just kind of seems like, oh, take care of me, take care of me, take care of me. I'm Big Pun's wife, but yet and still, it's like, well, if you really cared about Pun so much, why are you putting this information out? Why are you doing that? You know what I mean? So I don't know. I think it's kind of fucked up. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not like Fat Joe's the richest motherfucker in the world. Like according to celebritynetwork.com, he's only worth like $5 million. I don't know how accurate that is, but I mean, like, come on. You know what I'm saying? Like you got broken off with $250,000. You ran through that. You got another $116,000. You ran through that. Now, at the end of the day, I mean, if Pun wasn't getting properly compensated, fuck, man, that's just, it's shitty because, you know, Pun and Joe, like, I mean, like, just on the outside looking in, you would always think they're brothers and they will hold each other down, but it's business, man. It's business at the end of the day. So really, you got to fucking charge that to Pun. And Mrs. Rios, like in the interview that she did with Hip Hop DX, she even says that, like, it was his fault that he got fucked. So you can't really come at a nigga and beat him over the head because your man fucked up. Because at the end of the day, even though your man fucked up, Fat Joe still looked out for you, got that album put together for you so you could eat. I mean, what happened to all that money? Who knows? You know what I'm saying? But that's just my 2 cents, man. You know, if you got some comments on it, if you think I'm crazy, you know what I'm saying? Definitely drop it in the comments below. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, man, make sure you guys go check out Big Pun's album, man, because he literally should always be mentioned in the top 5, maybe top 3. Check out Capital Punishment. Yeah, babies, but Capital Punishment is definitely a classic. Make sure you guys like, man, definitely subscribe to the channel. Try to hit you guys with new content daily. And make sure you follow me on Twitter, man. I'm Chris Green. I'm out. Biatch.